Bonjour, French one. Today's lesson is a short but sweet one, all about the difference between either il or elle versus the word c'est. Technically, they both mean the same thing. You can use il or elle or c'est to mean either he, she, or it is. But it's not that il means he is, elle means she is, and c'est means it is. They can all kind of be used interchangeably. Il can either mean he is or it is. Elle can either mean she is or it is, if it's a feminine it. And then say can either mean he is, she is, or it is, all three depending on the situation. So it's basically a grammar rule, and you just have to kind of look at the sentence that you're using it in to decide which one is the most appropriate one to use. Again, there's nothing to compare this to in English because we just say either he is, she is, or it is, but in French they can kind of be used interchangeably depending on the situation. So let's get down to it. You use the word c'est if the words that come right after the word say are one of these three situations. If you are following the word say with a person's name, if you want to say it's Julie, you would say c'est Julie, and you would use say as your word for it is, because there's a rule in French that if it's followed just by a person's name, then you use the word say. If it's followed by an article or a possessive adjective and a noun, so articles are un, une, des, le, la, les. Possessive adjectives are all of those mon, ma, me, ton, ta, te things we're studying right now. And then, of course, a noun is a person, place, or thing. Then you use c'est, such as c'est une élève. It's a student. So you've got the article here with a, and then the noun or the thing with student. Or c'est mon père. It's my dad. Again, you've got the word mon, that's your possessive adjective, and your person, place, or thing, your dad there in the noun. The last situation where you would use say to say it is if there's an article, a noun, and a describing word, otherwise known as an adjective. So kind of the same situation here, but if you see an additional word there and it's a describing word, that is also going to use the word say. Here's my example, c'est une fille gentille. We've got the article of a, we've got the noun, the person, place, or thing of girl, and we've got the word nice as the describing word, and you're saying it's a nice girl. And I know that doesn't translate word for word as far as the order goes, but we've already talked about how that varies a little in French. Now here's the thing. It's very easy to remember when to use il or elle because it's only one rule. Basically, if the phrase is followed directly by an adjective, as in it's just a describing word, then you just use the word either il or elle based on whether that describing word is describing a boy or a girl. So when you take a look over here and you're looking at the fact that I used la, first of all, you can probably tell that I used it because it's followed directly by the word blonde, just the describing word, right? But then the way I knew you use la and not il is because remember that blonde has an e added to it, which means that it's showing us that it's the feminine form of blonde. I'm saying she is blonde, okay? If you want to say he is redheaded, again, this is the original masculine form of redheaded, you would say il est roux. So you can't use say in these situations because you have to use il or elle if it's just that word with the describing word. If you actually put a noun in there with an article and all of that, then you go back up to say to either say it is a nice girl or she is a nice girl. Hopefully that kind of sinks in. I think doing a couple of examples would definitely help. So on this first one, if you're looking at the words ma mère, sorry, let me grab my typing tool here. Ma mère are the words for my and mom. So if you look at your notes there right above and you're thinking about, okay, what kinds of words are these? What you have here is a possessive adjective in the word my and a noun in the word mom. So you would say something like c'est ma mère, because if you look at your list of things you use or times you use say, the times when you have a possessive adjective and a noun are when you use say. Again, say would either mean it is or she is my mom. Alrighty, if you have something like un professeur and you're trying to decide between c'est, il est, or elle, notice that you have an article and you have a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. So if you want to say it is a teacher or he or she is a teacher, in this case it'd be he because it's masculine, you would have to use c'est. And again, that would either mean it or he is a teacher. Alright, so hopefully you remember the word gros. It's usually everybody's favorite. Gros is the describing word fat. And you know, anytime you just have a describing word, you just want to use il or elle. Now, the way you know whether to use il he is or elle she is you have to notice that that is the feminine form of gros. And because of that, you would say LA to say that wonderful phrase of she is fat. Same kind of situation here. The word right after the blank when we're trying to use it is or he is or she is just a describing word. If you forgot, the word marrant means funny. Again, that means we're going to automatically, if it's just a describing word, use either ile or la. The way you know which one is you have to know that that's the original masculine form of funny. So if you want to say il est marrant, you could say he is funny. Next one here is just a person's name. If you check your notes, you'll see that if you want to say he is or it is Mark, the way you would do that if it's just followed by the name Mark is you would use say, and again that would either mean it or he is Mark. And then finally, this last one is an example where you have an article of on with the word a, prof, which is teacher, and a describing word, an adjective, which is méchant. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to say it's a mean teacher or he's a mean teacher, you have to use say. And again, say here would either mean it is or he is a mean teacher. Hopefully those kind of clarified a little bit, or at least gave you a better idea of kind of why we're choosing back and forth. On testing situations or on practice activities in class, you would probably be asked to do something similar to this. They all mean the same thing. It all means either it is, he is, or she is, but grammatically speaking in French, they switch between the words il est, elle est, and c'est, and if you don't quite do that right, you'll sound a little silly when you speak French. So give it a look, bring it to class, we'll practice some more when we get there.